Real quick, pull out your phone, go to your bank app or your credit card statement, and scroll through last month's transactions. I want you to count every recurring charge, every subscription, every free trial you forgot to cancel, every app you downloaded 8 months ago and haven't opened since, every streaming service, every software tool, every meal kit you're still technically subscribed to even though the boxes have been piling up in your entryway. Go ahead, I'll wait. Now add them up. I'm willing to bet that number is higher than you thought it was going to be, maybe significantly higher. And I'm also willing to bet that at least a third of those charges you genuinely forgot were happening. They've just been quietly leaving your account every single month on autopilot while you were busy living your life. That right there, that's the trap. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how much it's actually costing you, not just per month, but over your lifetime. And it is a number that is going to make you genuinely angry. My name is Dexon, and I spend way too much time thinking about the hidden ways that money leaks out of people's lives without them ever noticing. If you're someone who feels like you're earning decent money but can never quite figure out where it all goes at the end of the month, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. All right, let's get into it. Here's the thing. The subscription model isn't just a billing preference. It is one of the most psychologically sophisticated wealth extraction systems ever designed for the average consumer. And I don't say that to be dramatic. I say that because the people building these products have spent billions of dollars studying exactly how to make you forget you're paying, exactly how to make cancellation feel like a hassle, and exactly how to keep you subscribed months and sometimes years past the point where you're getting any real value. And it's working spectacularly. According to a 2022 survey by C+R Research, the average American spends about $219 per month on subscription services. But here's the kicker. When that same group of people was asked how much they thought they spent on subscriptions before they counted, the average guess was $86 a month. That's a gap of over $130 every single month. People are systematically underestimating this expense by more than half. Now, $219 a month sounds annoying, but manageable, right? Like, okay, it's a little high, but it's not gonna make or break my financial life. That's exactly what they're counting on you thinking. Because here's what most people don't realize. They're not just paying $219 a month. They're paying with time. They're paying with opportunity cost. They're paying with decades of compounding growth that those dollars could have been doing in the market instead of sitting in a corporation's revenue report. And that's where this gets really ugly. Let me do some math with you. And I want you to stay with me here because this is the part that most financial content completely skips over, and it's the part that actually matters. Let's say you're 28 years old. You're spending $219 a month on subscriptions. For the sake of being conservative and fair, let's say half of those subscriptions are genuinely useful. Your internet, maybe one streaming service, a tool you actually use for work. Fine. That's maybe $80 to $90 of legitimate recurring expenses. That still leaves around $130 a month, roughly $1,560 a year, going towards subscriptions that aren't meaningfully improving your life. The gym you visit twice a month, the 4 streaming services when you realistically watch 2, the news app you could read for free, the cloud storage plan that's 3 times more than you actually need, a VPN, and 3 or 4 other things you couldn't name off the top of your head. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Take that $130 a month and ask a different question. What if, instead of flowing to subscription companies, it was invested every month into a broad index fund from age 28 to age 65, 37 years, at a historically reasonable 8% average annual return? That $130 a month becomes approximately $356,000. But remember, we said the average person is spending $219 a month total, and a lot of that is genuinely wasteful. Some people I talk to are closer to $300, $350 a month in subscriptions when they actually sit down and count. So let's run it at $200 a month in fully recoverable subscription waste. $200 a month, 37 years, 8% returns. That's just over $500,000, $500,000 gone. Not in one dramatic bad decision, not in a failed business or bad investment, in $9.99 charges and $14.99 charges and $6.99 charges that felt too small to care about. That is the subscription trap, and that's why I named the video what I named it. Look, I don't think people are lazy or stupid for falling into this. I genuinely don't. The reason this is so hard to catch isn't a personal failure. It's by design, and it exploits real documented quirks in how the human brain processes money. The first one is called the pain of paying. Research from behavioral economists, including work associated with Dexon Prelec at MIT, has shown that spending money actually activates the pain centers of the brain, but only when the payment feels immediate and visible. When you hand someone $20, you feel it. When $9.99 disappears from your account automatically on the 14th of every month, your brain barely registers it. The friction is gone. The pain is gone. And without the pain of paying, there's no psychological signal to reconsider the purchase. Subscription companies didn't stumble onto this by accident. They built their entire billing model around eliminating your brain's natural spending alarm system. The second psychological mechanism is called status quo bias. Humans have a powerful, irrational preference for keeping things the way they already are. Canceling something feels like an action. Staying subscribed feels like doing nothing, and we are wired to prefer inaction over action, even when inaction is costing us money. This is why cancellation flows are deliberately complicated. This is why companies make you call a phone number instead of clicking a button. This is why you have to talk to a retention specialist whose entire job is to talk you out of leaving. They know your brain's default is to stay. They're engineering around your psychology, and they're doing it with precision. The third mechanism, and this one's subtle, is called the denomination effect. We process large numbers and small numbers very differently. $130 a month feels small. $1,560 a year feels slightly more significant. $500,000 over a lifetime feels like a completely different category of money, the kind of number that would actually change your life. But it's the same money. The denomination you present it in changes how seriously your brain treats it. This is why I always talk about subscriptions in lifetime opportunity cost terms rather than monthly terms, because your brain cannot take $9.99 seriously. It can absolutely take $500,000 seriously. I want to tell you about two people, Priya and Derek. Same age, 26, same starting salary, $68,000, same city, same general lifestyle, same basic financial awareness. Neither of them is particularly reckless with money. Both of them would describe themselves as pretty responsible. Derek has a casual relationship with subscriptions. He's got Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Spotify, a gaming subscription, a meditation app he downloads every January, Adobe Creative Cloud, even though he's used it maybe 4 times, a meal kit service he's been meaning to cancel, iCloud storage on the maximum tier, a VPN, and 3 or 4 other things he couldn't name off the top of his head. All in, he's spending about $280 a month. He doesn't think about it much because none of the individual charges feel significant. Priya did a subscription audit last year. She cut everything she wasn't actively using at least 3 times a week. She kept Spotify, one streaming service, and her cloud storage. It's at $45 a month in subscriptions. The other $235 she redirected into her Roth IRA and brokerage account. Fast forward 35 years. Derek, assuming he eventually starts investing seriously and contributes $400 a month to the market, ends up with roughly $1.1 million at retirement. Priya, investing that same $400 a month plus her recovered $235, so $635 a month total, ends up with approximately $1.75 million. Same income, same city, same general lifestyle. The difference is $650,000, built entirely on the gap between $280 a month and $45 a month in subscription spending. Derek didn't make a single dramatic financial mistake. He just never audited the quiet drain, and the quiet drain compounded against him for 35 years. Okay, here's what I actually want you to do. Not someday, this week, ideally today. Step 1, pull every subscription into one place. Go through your last 2 months of bank and credit card statements, not just 1 month, because some subscriptions are quarterly or annual and won't show every month. Write down every recurring charge you find. Use a notes app, a spreadsheet, a piece of paper, whatever. The format doesn't matter. The visibility does. There are also apps that can help with this. Rocket Money and Trim are 2 that will automatically scan your accounts and surface recurring charges. They're genuinely useful for this specific task. I'm not sponsored by either of them. They're just good tools for this purpose. Step 2, sort everything into 3 buckets. Bucket 1 is essential and actively used, things you would genuinely miss if they disappeared tomorrow. and that you use regularly. Bucket 2 is nice to have but cuttable, things you enjoy but could live without. Bucket 3 is I forgot this even existed. These get canceled immediately, full stop, no deliberation. Step 3, apply the 3 times a week rule. For everything in Bucket 2, ask yourself honestly, do I engage with this service at least 3 times a week? If the answer is no, it goes in Bucket 3. This isn't about deprivation, it's about eliminating spending that isn't generating real enjoyment or real value. You can always resubscribe later. The goal is to stop paying for things on autopilot. Step 4, consolidate wherever possible. Now, you might be thinking, Dexon, I actually like all of my streaming services. And maybe you do. But do you watch all 4 of them simultaneously? Rotate them. Spend 3 months on one, cancel, rotate to the next. You'll actually watch more of the content you've been meaning to get to, and you'll cut your annual spend on that category by 60 to 70%. Step 5, redirect immediately and automatically. Whatever you cut, calculate the monthly total and set up an automatic transfer to your investment account on the same day. Don't let the money linger in your checking account, where it will inevitably find something else to be spent on. The whole system only works if the money moves before you have a chance to rationalize something new. This 5-step process takes about an hour, 1 hour, and it could be the highest hourly value activity you do all year when you factor in the long-term impact. Here's something I want to say that goes a little beyond the math. The subscription problem isn't really about subscriptions. It's about a broader pattern that I see consistently in people who feel financially stuck despite earning reasonable money. It's the pattern of allowing small, invisible, automatic decisions to run your financial life while your conscious attention is focused elsewhere. The subscription industry has built an entire economy on your inattention, and subscriptions are just the most visible version of this. The same principle applies to bank fees you've never questioned, to insurance premiums you've never shopped around, to phone plans you've been on for 4 years without comparing, to interest rates you accepted without negotiating. All of these things share the same characteristic. They are set-it-and-forget-it expenses that companies are deeply incentivized to keep you from revisiting, and collectively, they can easily account for $400, $500, $600 a month in recoverable spending for the average household. The financially successful people I've studied, and I've read a lot of research on this, from the millionaire next door studies to more recent behavioral finance work, they share a trait that isn't about being cheap, it's about being intentional. They know where their money goes, they review it, they make active decisions rather than letting defaults run the show. That intentionality is a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier the more you practice it. Look, I want to be clear about something before we wrap up. I'm not telling you to cancel everything and live like a monk. I have subscriptions, things I genuinely love and use and get real value from. The goal isn't austerity. The goal is consciousness. The goal is making sure that every dollar leaving your account on autopilot is a dollar you'd consciously choose to spend if someone asked you to write a check for it. Because here's the thing, when you make spending visible, when you remove the autopilot and replace it with intention, your financial life changes. Not because you become some kind of disciplined superhuman, but because your brain, when it actually sees the numbers, makes better decisions. It's not willpower, it's information. The $219 average monthly subscription spend in America isn't happening because people are careless. It's happening because the system is designed to keep that spending invisible. Today, I hope this video made it visible for you. Even if you walked away and cut $50 a month, $50, that's $27,000 over 30 years at 8% returns from one intentional hour of reviewing your statements. That's the game, and now you know how to play it. If this video opened your eyes, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this content reach more people who need to hear it. Subscribe if you want to keep building this kind of financial clarity, and drop in the comments what subscriptions you're cutting today. I read them, and I want to know. I'll see you in the next one.